make it, and they're making it important to be here, and we're super, super delighted and honored to be here. I'm Charlotte Jacobs, and I'm the co-founder of Thrive and the co-leader of the Client Attraction Summit with my awesome and amazing husband, Mr. Jesse Corn, over there, giving us the hello.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us and on such late notice. We've been actually thinking a lot about you guys because here we are in March with this whole pandemic thing happening. And, we have every intention to lead the Client Attraction Summit the way that we've always led it, which is live and in person. And, there's sometimes situations that are a bit out of our control. And so we're excited to do it no matter what. So a couple things about this call. We want to take some time to support you in any way that we can during this call. We'll answer any questions that you have. If you're feeling, some level of fear or, anywhere from nervousness to panic about what's happening, we're happy to support you in any way that we can. And then we also, personally as well as in your business. And then, we're happy to even give you a little coaching on how to move forward in these times with your business in a graceful, elegant way that doesn't seem like you're kind of fighting against the current. And so that's our intention, is just to show up in service to you all. And anything you want to add to that, Charlotte?
Sure. Yeah. As I was really sitting with preparing for, we kind of knew something was coming as far as quarantine. And for those of you that live in the Bay Area, raise your hand if you live in the Bay Area, actually. Yep. So we kind of had a sense, and those of you who don't know, all of us in the Bay Area were in a shelter-in-place order. So we're really just supposed to leave our house to take the dog for a walk and go to the grocery store and the pharmacy and that kind of thing. So we were preparing for that, and I had this experience of like, okay, we got our family prepared. I checked on my parents and my brother and, my kind of immediate extended family, and knew that they were okay. And the next wave that came for me was, how can I be in service to our clients, to people who are registered for the coming up, summit coming up in May, and, for our greater community. And so that's where we woke up Monday morning and we had a 2.5-hour meeting with our team, talking about how can we pivot, how do we actually show up and support in the best way possible right now. And so that's where this call was born from. And, we are all human. And I know that this has been for you and I, Jesse, a real call to step into our leadership. And I'm certainly not saying I haven't had any feelings of nervousness or fear come through me. And I know that for me, when I really choose to focus on being in service to others, it makes a really big difference in how I feel and how I operate in my day. And so that's, we're here in service to you today. And we're here in service to you actually stepping into your own leadership in this time, so you can really lead your people, show up and support, continue to make the difference that you're here to make, because we truly believe that now more than ever is your time. As coaches and holistic practitioners, this is your time. This is when people need your work more than ever. And so, how can you show up and be that beacon of light? And so that's part of our intention of what you walk away with today, is that you walk away with hope, with inspiration, and that if we can move you on that scale anywhere from panic upward toward possibility, then that's what we would really like to see happen today.
Nice. So, and I just want to piggyback that, we've led about 250 live events at this point, and up until now, up until this event that we're leading in about a week and a half, March 27th and 29th, we have never canceled or rescheduled an event. This one we're taking to Zoom. We may take our April event to Zoom, and we'll definitely take our May event to Zoom, but we've had all kinds of reasons to cancel. I sprained my ankle at one event where I couldn't walk. I had the stomach flu twice during 2 different events. One where Charla had just given birth to our son, our first son, Jacob. He was Jacob back then, now he's Jake. But yeah, so I had the stomach flu. Charlotte was home with like a, I don't know, 3-week-old. And I led the event all by myself with the stomach flu. I was like throwing up during the breaks and let it throughout. We've had the power go out at one of our events. We still led the event. We've had fire alarms go off in the middle of our, I mean, we've had so many, I'm not even thinking about every crazy thing that's happened leading over 250 events, but this is the first time that we're like, all right, we're surrendering to the reality that that this could be Zoom. At the same time, we've led at this point well over 500 webinars, Zoom events, et cetera, and we've figured out a few things about how to make them as engaging, as transformational, as as powerful as possible. And so it'll be happening one way or the other. Our preference is live, and it's going to be live either way. So live in person or live, if we can't do it in person, we'll do it this way, the way we're doing it right now.
Yeah, that being said, we let me say this, that we are leading this call today, and we really just wanted to show up and support. So we hustled and put it together, and we didn't actually prepare as if how we will prepare for the summit if we have to do it virtually. So just so you know, this is just more of us showing up in support of you. You know, you and us here, we're not teaching a ton today, but just to be here available to you and to support you and coach you with what's going on for you right now.
Exactly.
We do have some tips and things for you today, but it's not the same structure of what the summit will be like if we do have to do it Zoom wise. But again, let's hold the intention that everywhere in the world that, you know, this containment that we're doing and the procedures that are happening right now help with containment and healing, and that we can get through this quite more quickly than some other countries. We are seeing some countries getting through it quite quickly, like South Korea. I know that some of the schools in China are reopening. So I really do have hope that come the end of May that we'll still be able to meet live in person, and we will be so happy to be together, don't you think? By the time that happens, like give me a high five, give me a hug. I'm just so happy to look someone in the eye that's not just the people I live with and not through Zoom.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll be super excited, and I think if we're not able to meet in person, we're going to be craving community in whatever way, shape, or form. We just had a Zoom call with our community of members, and we had 118 people on that call. Because I think people are craving connection in whatever form. So that's our goal, is to provide connection in the way that the universe allows us to. So that's some context. We wanted to open it up to any questions that you may have about the summit or about your business, any concerns that you may have about the summit, about your business. We really just are here for you. So you're welcome to chat any questions, just write in the chat. And
or raise your hand.
You could also just go like this.
Yep.
And
for those of you, actually, Meg, if you can give instructions for those of you who are new to Zoom, I figure by the next few weeks we'll all be really comfortable on Zoom. Can you give instructions for everyone on how to raise hands if they don't have you don't have your camera on?
Sure, absolutely. If you folks go down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a thing that says participants, and when you click on that, you can raise your individual hand to raise it. So.
Yeah, that way you don't have to hold it up there for a long time. So.
Right.
Yeah, so if you have any questions or you just generally want support in any way, we're here. Okay.
Amanda. Oh, hold on. I unmuted you and Meg did at the same time, so we ended up muting you. Oh, I guess I'm not able to mute. There you
wait. There we go again.
Yeah.
Me and
there
Meg.
we go. Okay.
All right, we're doing a little tango. Nice.
I had to unmute myself also. My name is Fernanda Medina, and I actually registered on your course because on the summit because my sister said it was a very good thing, and because I trust her.
Are you Adriana's sister?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I just worked with her with the client attraction, the client attraction code call through the Shift Network.
Yeah, Adriana is my
Yes,
sister.
yes.
So she just said that, oh, this is very good, and I registered, but I really don't know much about it. So I just trust my sister. So if you can explain a little bit what it is about. My profession, I'm a psychotherapist, I'm a psychologist, and my work is in the health, in health. So that's what I want to, I'm creating my business in that area.
Great. Fantastic. Jess, do you want to share about the summit, or would you rather, would you prefer I do it?
Yeah, or we could tag team, however you want to do it.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, the Client Attraction Summit. It is a 3-day live event, either way, live in person or live on Zoom, and it's something we've led about 82. I think this will be our 82nd time leading this event. So we've had the chance to refine it over and over and over. And at this point, we've had about 9,000 people attend from 29 different countries. So that's sort of the background of it. The types of things we're going to cover, we're going to get into the vision that you have for the rest of the year, as well as for the overall success of your business. So what does your business look like when you've kind of reached the pinnacle of success? So we're going to do some work around your vision, getting it or clarifying it, depending on where you are with your vision. Usually what happens when you have an inspiring vision is that it can bring up some gremlins or negative beliefs that keep you from, reaching it. And so each day we're going to do some transformational work around transforming some of the gremlins that can get in the way of you fulfilling on that vision. So it's very transformational. We're going to do some work on the vehicle to get to your vision, which for us is client attraction. And one of the exciting things that we teach is about the 5 elements of Chinese medicine that we've kind of converted into a system that we call the 5 elements of heart selling. And Charlotte, I could share about it, but I think I'll hand it over to you if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, and all of this, just to kind of give you a framework around this, that we have basically like 3 different categories we're going to be working within. So the first is clarify. Jesse already talked about vision, beliefs. We're going to help you with your what do you do statement. How do you clarify all of that? So you've got that foundation of your business. And then we get into the attract part, which is how do you package and price your services? You might be repackaging your services based on the work that we do and giving yourself a raise based on the work that we do at the summit. And then how do you have conversations with potential clients so they practically talk themselves into working with you if it's a good match? And that's where the 5 elements of heart selling come in. We're actually going to go really deep into the 5 elements and give you a lot of chances to not just learn the content of what is each of the elements as far as having a conversation with a potential client, but having an experience so you walk out of the event with a new way of connecting. And I will tell you this, that whenever I ask for a referral for somebody in town here in Santa Cruz, and we get on the phone.
I'm in Santa Cruz too.
Oh, you are? Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, yeah, we're actually in the Santa Cruz Mountains in Felton. So, yeah, wonderful. So whenever, I reach out and I ask for a referral, and if I ever get on the phone with a coach or a holistic practitioner who I'm considering working with, and they haven't had this system of heart selling, they haven't had this training, it's always such a disappointing experience. Because I feel that, our main job is to really create connection and to create trust and to create that sacred space where people feel like they can trust you, they can share the intimacy of their lives with you. And the 5 elements are all about that. And so, you will be the kind of person when you walk out of the event where just in people being in your presence and talking with you, they are going to want to work with you just from that alone. I mean, we do many things to help, to have it be so that they're a lot more like compelled to work with you. But that is one piece, is that your whole way of being changes. Instead of feeling, like worried about feeling like you're a used car salesman if you're offering your services. Instead, you'll be able to do it in a really heartfelt way that people feel really drawn to you and compelled, and they want to work with you. And so that's really what the 5 elements are about. And, now more than ever, people need support. And so to have this system and to walk away with it in your bones is going to mean so much for you. So that's, that's a little bit about the attract part of the model. And then Jess, do you want to talk about the expand part of the model?
Sure. So we have clarify and attract and expand. So expand has 3 components as well. The first one is leverage. And so we'll teach you some strategies to work less, make more money, and help more people in the process. And just kind of a heads up on that is, can you, especially in this time where so many people are secluded, if you don't have a home study course, that kind of puts you at a disadvantage. So we'll share some things about creating a home study course. If you don't have a group program that you can take online, that's also a disadvantage. So we'll share some things about that. And so, getting online, group program, home study course is a huge thing because, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. And we also don't know if another one is going to come after this. And so, a lot of the people in our community are set up really well to, because they've already put themselves online and they already have home study courses and group programs. Others of our members, primarily work with people one-on-one in person, and we're giving them checklists and, support to get immediately online so that they can work with their clients one-on-one online through Zoom. And so, so that's the get leverage aspect. The next part of expand is speaking to groups. This could be through Zoom. It could also be, leading workshops or getting booked for speaking engagements where, a workshop is where you fill it and a speaking engagement is where someone else fills the room and you show up and lead your content.
And right now we can't be doing that, but it won't be
yes.
We'll be able to be back.
There will be a day when we can, when we can go out and speak to groups again, live and in person. And so that's a skill, but you can translate that skill into, a Zoom call like this. And then, so we have leverage, speaking, and the last one is leadership. So we're going to be sharing leadership principles that are unique to coaches and holistic practitioners throughout the course of this event, so that when you leave more confident, more inspired, and feel more like the leader that is the person who's going to bring forth this new vision that you created at the beginning of the event.
Yeah, and
so,
if I can say something about that now, like speaking of leadership, that, in this time where so many people are dealing with fear and uncertainty, it's really an opportunity. Now, I know you might be feeling all kinds of feelings. I'm not saying step over the feelings, feel your feelings, do your work to move through your emotions, get the support and the love that you need. And at some point, there's really an opportunity for you to step into leadership and to lead your people, to lead your clients, to lead your ideal clients, to be the one that is there for them and supporting them. And so this is an example of leadership. And one of the things that I've seen watching our thrivers, people have been with us for a long time. And one of our team members actually said she's watching some of her friends who don't have the distinctions that we teach at Thrive, and they're just scrambling because they don't really know what to do with their business now that, things have changed and everything has changed. Whereas I'm watching thrivers and I'm seeing them pivot, make adjustments, make shifts in how they're doing. They're just, being pretty resourceful and showing up in their leadership to make changes. So So we talked about, the 3 different categories of areas we're going to work with you on. I just realized I missed one of the most important strategies in the attract part. And that is teaching you some client attraction strategies, how to get your metaphorical phone to ring, right? How do you get those private messages with people wanting to connect with you? And how do you get in front of your ideal client? So those are the things that we're going to be covering at the summit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really designed to give you the tools, transformation, and templates to help you be able to reach more of your people, no matter what's going on in the world. So we're going to be teaching you some evergreen strategies. And today, of course, we want to give you some tips that are specific to what we're all dealing with in the world right now.
Totally. And if this pandemic is going on, which hopefully it will have passed by May 29th, but if it is going on, we're going to make everything specific to how to get clients in this time, which is what we're doing with our members right now. We're kind of adapting a lot of our templates so that they're more relevant for what people are facing right now, which kind of takes us.
I was going to say, can I give a tip about that?
Yeah,
right
I think
now?
we're probably going to give the same tip.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've been on a Facebook feed or Insta or, wherever it is that you like to hang out for your social media. I think we're probably all on social media more right now since we're not in person. But I notice, and maybe you notice this too, that if you see an ad come through or you see anybody posting about anything that isn't relevant to what we're dealing with in the world right now, that it's like, it just kind of like, my thought is like, what are you doing? Why are you still paying for those ads? Nobody's paying attention to that right now, right? So one tip for you is that anything that you put out there, any communication you put out there, it's got to be relevant to the pandemic and how people are dealing with it. So whatever it is, in whatever way that you work with people, the way that you help people, there are things that are specific to the pandemic and specific to COVID-19 that it's like we need to put that context around everything that we do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So for us, for example, we spent, was it last Thursday or last Friday, honey? Not last Friday, but the Friday before. Our video guy came over. We put out 3 to 4 videos a month out to our email list, giving great content. It was all about how to find your niche, and they're great videos, and they were funny, and they were entertaining. We had our kids acting in them, playing Star Wars characters, and my future self talking to my current self, or my past self talking to my current self. And I was so excited about this. There's, the whole campaign for the month was all about how to find your niche, like to really actually help you get that through our free content. And we basically have to put that all to the side right now. And everything that we're putting out now is all related and relevant to what's happening in these times. So one of the things I would really suggest for those of you who already have clients is I would definitely, reach out, find out how people are doing. If you've got past clients, reach out to them, find out how they're doing in the midst of everything that's going on. How are they handling the isolation? How are they handling the fear around, you don't have to ask those specific questions, but just how are you doing? And just that outreach alone right now with any past clients or current clients, it can have people reach out to you for support and book sessions or start to work with you again. It can prevent client cancellations, just to be really proactive in reaching out to people. And then the second piece about that is if you are going to post anything on social media, if you're going to send any emails to, if you have an email list, just make sure it's relevant to everything that we're working with now. Make that pivot.
Nice. Beautiful. So any other question? Fernanda, did that answer your question? Or do you have any follow-up questions?
No.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
It was, I muted myself. No, thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I hope we can do it in person because I was actually hoping to see my sister there.
Yes. I hope so. So.
No, thank you very much. It is very clear. Maybe just one question that I have in my mind at the moment is what you have said is very clear. Are we going to learn also how to get clients, like how to, I don't know how to explain that, how to make like email lists, or I don't know where to get them from, but are we going to learn that part?
That's what the whole event is about how to attract more. It's called the Client Attraction Summit. So it's about you attracting and having, your ideal client say yes to working with you. So, there are a lot of different ways to have that happen, and that will take a lot more time than the 3 days to go into like nitty gritty detail. But we will definitely give you some strategies that you can use right away to get clients. People walk out of the summit and they get clients the next week from the stuff that they learn. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're gonna give you everything that we got in the time that we have. 3 days. We're gonna maximize that time.
Yeah.
And we'll dance. We're gonna dance, whether it's over Zoom or live. We're gonna be dancing to keep the energy flowing, so that our bodies can integrate all the information that's gonna come through. So, all right. Thanks, Fernanda. Yeah. All right. And one thing we do at Thrive is we like to do whooshes when people share. So if you could rub your hands together like this, and we're going to give Fernanda a whoosh. You ready? And
whoosh.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, it works even virtually.
Yes.
Okay. And it looks like Matthew and Brandon raised your hand. And I know, Matthew, you're a Corin also. So I'm and you're Matthew. Okay. So
Matthew and Brandon. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding this call. I'm having a daily event in response to the pandemic online on Zoom via meditation, but also wanted to have like kind of a community check-in opportunity. So I'm going to use breakout rooms. And I was just curious if you have any kind of feedback on that structure, on structures that really work. I'm probably going to have between 20 and 30 people on a Zoom call. And so I'm going to do like a guided meditation, but then I'm going to kind of release people to a breakout room. And I just wanted to give some really powerful prompts or structures so that that's still valuable for them without me being in the room facilitating.
Yeah, I actually just led a program for the Shift Network called the Client Attraction Code. There are actually a few people here that were in the program. And nice to see you, Wijan. And I think I saw Donna here too. And I didn't actually stay for the breakouts at the end of the call. I led 90 minutes of content. And then at the end, I just gave really clear instructions. I said, we'll put you in groups of 3 or 4, gave them very clear prompt of like, here's the conversation, choose who's going to go first, second, third, fourth, choose a timekeeper, and you're going to have this much time. And then I let them manage their own time. And I find that as long as you give people a really clear structure of what to discuss, then, and how to, if they're going to give feedback, also a structure for how to give feedback. So for example, the metal element is acknowledgement in the 5 elements of heart selling. And so when you're having a conversation with a potential client, you want to make sure to acknowledge them. And so one of the things, this is a principle we live by here at Thrive. So one of the things that you can do is you could say, you're going to give everybody, 15 minutes for the breakout, and they're going to have 3 people. So you tell them to choose their timekeeper, choose who's going first, second, third, give them the prompt. And if there is a feedback segment that, say, remember when you're giving feedback that it's vulnerable for people to share. And so you want to make sure, acknowledge them, for their courage, acknowledge them for something that you heard. And if you're giving feedback, then, just make sure that acknowledgement is there first. So, anything that you can do to provide context where there's more upliftment in, and that people are really supporting each other, because when you put people in a breakout, there's this way where you don't know what's happening, in the conversations. And so as much as you can manage that and provide a safe container for all of your participants, the better it will go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And I'd like to add that, Shirley, you mentioned groups of 3 or 4. You could also do groups of two to 3. But one of the challenges with doing groups of 2 is that if someone bails, then the other person's like, negative experience. So that's why it's ideal, I think, with Zoom to probably do groups of 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's why we do it that way. Yep. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I guess if there's themes or prompts that you just talked about, having content that's relevant, what would be an uplifting prompt that you've seen or have generated yourself that kind of doesn't tend the conversation towards all the negativity, but is a prompt about the context, but keeping people in that upliftment
Well,
you suggest.
I would take a look at your own content. Like what I don't I don't know the type of meditation that you do, but I would take a look at, if it's say there's a heart opening meditation, for example, it'd be like kind of a what's possible when your heart's open like this, or what do you notice in your body when you let yourself release this, or so that you actually the questions you ask are deliberate to elicit a positive response, because that's what you want people to walk away feeling healthier and happier, right? So.
And Matthew, is this meditation in relationship to the pandemic and all of that, or is it sort of separate?
It will be, yeah. It'll be
Okay.
just kind of sending the world healing and love, and also, peace. People are feeling a lot of stress. I think the overall sentiment in my community is people are less concerned about contracting the virus and more about the economic impacts. So providing a space for them to kind of chill their nervous systems from the amygdala hijack that's happening right now, and helping them just have a soothing or a calming experience despite that, or in the presence of that information, I think will be maybe novel for some people. So they don't have a simple practice or a way to do that.
It's great service. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me. Jess, do you want to share the distinction? Like, you've been listening to a lot of Abraham, and you have that beautiful distinction that you pulled from it around where fear comes from. I think if you can share certain distinctions that have people start to shift, so before they even go into the meditation, having them shift into a higher consciousness, so they're entering inside of that. But just, I think that's so powerful.
Yeah. I'd be happy to. Before I do, I just want to share one thing also about, sort of a prompt that I've given our members recently, which is, actually, there's been a few. One is on the call today. I asked our members to put in the chat, what we talked about, this distinction around what are you calibrating yourself to. So, if you get on Facebook, you're suddenly calibrating yourself to all of the noise and all of the fear that's out there. And so, then the question is that what you want to calibrate yourself to all the time? Do you want to be on Facebook a lot? If not, what are you going to calibrate to? And for me, as Charlotte mentioned, I've been listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks to keep my mind clear and focused, and reminding myself of some of the spiritual principles that are still alive now. It's not like this pandemic happened and spiritual law or spiritual principles have completely gone away. So one of the prompts was, what are the things that you're calibrating to that are bringing you clarity or calmness or peace? So that was one prompt. Another prompt was, this was something that I asked our members to share about in their group, in our Thrive Facebook group, is what are you feeling right now? So that was the first question. The second question was, describe a time over the last week where you inspired yourself with your unstoppability. And what support? The third question was, what support could you use from this community? So what are you present to now? Time when you inspired yourself this last week, and what support could you use right now? So, I think the sky's the limit for a meditation like that, but I think that could make a really big difference. Okay, one other thing that I want to share, which was prompted by you, Charla, unless Matthew or Brandon, unless you have anything else about that. No, I'll say, okay. Nice, so let's give Matthew and Brandon a whoosh. You ready? And
Whoosh.
whoosh. All right. Thank you. Yeah, so for those of you who are working with your people around this pandemic, who are in anxiety. A distinction that has really soothed my nervous system over the last couple of weeks was something that I heard from Abraham, and then I'm going to expand about right now, which is this idea that when you're in a space of anxiety, it's because you're picturing the worst case scenario with your present day resources. So it's like the worst case scenario with present day resources.
I mean, worst case scenario for the future.
Right, exactly. You're projecting yourself into the future, the worst case version of the future with your present day resources. And so what I mean by that is, when I've looked back at my life, I've discovered that I've pictured the worst case scenario hundreds, if not thousands of times, and rarely has it ever happened. Usually it's much better than I could have possibly imagined. So that's number one. The times when it was really bad and the shit really hit the fan, then the thing that I noticed about that was that usually I was flooded with resources. So new ideas, new paradigm shifts, breakthroughs, insights, a new teacher or guide would come along, a friend would show up for me, money would come out of nowhere to support. And so for me, that's very soothing that your worst case scenario will probably never happen. But if it does, you can probably count on yourself to have lots of resources that you don't have right now as you're dealing with that situation. And so that's given me a lot of comfort. And that's something that if you want to pass along to your clients, you can, because, I think our goal during this time is to, as Charlotte, you said earlier, to help people go from panic to possibility. And there's so many people who are in panic right now. I went to the health food store a few days ago, and someone had a panic attack right as I was walking in the store and collapsed into tears, and was basically held by the woman in front of her in line. And so there's a lot of fear out there. And so the beautiful thing about this time right now is you get to stand up in leadership, and you get to play a role in the service to other people when they really, really need it. And that's a really beautiful thing. And so, one of the pieces of coaching that we're giving to our community is this idea of just reaching out to 3 people a day, private messaging them, texting them, friends and family, of course, and then also people you don't even know that well who, could potentially be clients or referral sources, and just say, hey, I saw your post today on Facebook. Just want to let you know I care about you. I'm here for you. If you need any support, just let me know. That kind of thing can go a long way. And whether they become clients or not, you're planting seeds of your leadership and of your stand for supporting people at a time when people will remember it later. And referrals can come from that, clients can come from that, et cetera. So to show up as a leader now, I noticed myself, when I go on Facebook, at first it was just to get information to try to figure out if, we're going to be able to lead this March event in person or not. But then once I kind of had that information, I realized that subconsciously I was going to Facebook for certainty and soothing, and this, for people to stand up and say, yeah, I see it too, I'm in it too, but I know we're going to be okay. And so, you get to be that for other people. And so I just encourage you to, maybe spend 90% of your time doing self-care, but that 10%, really showing up for people on social media, texting, private messaging, emailing, calling, just being a resource for people right now. So any other questions? Looks like Ardeth, you posted, I started posting an old email meditation series I wrote for my Reiki students in 2016 on Facebook for friends and students. day one, happiness is a means of travel, not a destination. Beautiful. Yeah. So whatever resources you have, it's a beautiful thing to share about it.
All right. Mijun.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for organizing this meeting. We really feel the love and the care and you're giving to our community. And I found, brief introduction, I'm a Stanford trained medical genetics. I've been running a genetics company in China, recently moved back. I wanted to work with women who recover from cancer or other serious disease to heal using East and West medicine. And my question for both of you is, I really have great hope for the summit. I hope to find friends and business partners. I feel I was looking for, when you walk in there and then someone ideally, would complementary with me. I have more technical training, but I didn't have that much experience with working with US client, and I wanted to develop like maybe Zoom-based trainings. So might be able to, that's what I was hoping. I was just wondering if we're going to doing it in Zoom, how are we going to achieve that goal?
Great question. Great question.
And I love the way you describe what you do as well.
She's been through the client attraction code.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's immediate credibility. That's great. That's
Yeah.
really beautiful. Okay, Charlotte, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah. So just like we would do live, if you come together live and in person, you'll be having partner shares. There'll be breaks where you get to connect with other people and meet them. We will definitely have breakouts during the Client Attraction Summit, so you have an opportunity to process the work that you're doing. And, and we will figure out, we actually have a Facebook group that'll be starting around April 1st as a way for you to all start to connect with each other. And so just, one of the things we're going to invite you to do is share what you do. And that'll be a way for you to start to see what other people are doing in the world and they're coming to the event. And so there'll be definitely different places for you to connect with other people. And we encourage a lot of community connection, definitely.
Right. And for the breakout room, I found was really powerful. I got connected with Donna and Linda and in various of groups.
Oh, and Linda, you were in the shift
And,
code too. Wonderful.
Yeah, I was wondering whether it would be helpful. We have a little bit more tags to us, like San Francisco Bay Area, and then that help us to sort us, which kind of holistic. Some of them sounds like are more into the meditation, others are more into the career, life coaching, and
here's the thing: is that through the process of what we talk about at the Client Attraction Summit, there are some of you are going to change the way you talk about what you do completely.
Right.
Meaning that you're still going to keep doing the core work that you do, but the way you communicate what you do is going to be very different than you're doing now. And and you're going to learn how to do it in a much more compelling way that people are going to be able to hear you and they're going to be like, I need to work with you, or I know somebody who needs to work with you. And that's really what we're going for. So if we were to put people's modalities on a name tag, it might be very crowded for some of you because you have so many letters after your name. And the interesting thing is that the way that things are going, where so many people are moving online out of necessity right now, where I think for a lot of folks, this is a time to really start to evaluate how do you get your work to be able to be done online, no matter what it is, even if you're working one-on-one with people. And so where people live in the world may not necessarily be the most important thing. But we will give you plenty of chances to connect with people. If we do meet in person, we have a community networking table where you can put your, flyers out and business cards and things like that. And we will give you lots of opportunity to connect with people. And you can even share where you're from and find out where other people are from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just be nice to be able to build onto it. And then we can follow up afterwards, have some local meet up. So afterwards.
I hope we'll be able to do local meetups afterwards.
Later this year.
Yeah, I mean, in our programs, like in our client attraction mastery program, which is the program we're leading this weekend, we put people in groups based on where they live. With the summit, I think we do it a little bit differently, but we definitely put you in smaller groups to connect with other folks. You're, you know, you really don't, you know, because depending on how things go, we'll have anywhere from 110 to 150 people at the live event. And then we want you to also have feel like you have a little smaller community where you can feel known by at least a group of people.
Definitely.
Deeper relationship.
Yeah. You'll have like a home group for the event. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Any other? Oh yeah, whoosh. Yes.
Yes.
All right. You ready?
And a whoosh.
Thank you. I knew something was missing. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So I see Shelly's saying, I've avoided social media and I'm wondering about getting a Facebook page for my coaching business. What do I do? It's a really great question, Shelly. You know, it's an interesting time because when you come to the summit, you may completely shift how you're communicating about your work. And a lot of people come in thinking, this is what I do, and this is how I talk about what I do. And then they get the distinctions that we teach here at Thrive and completely shift the way they talk about what they do. So if you were going to do a Facebook page for your coaching business, I would say have it be your name. You know, you don't have to go pick a business name right now. I wouldn't worry about that. If any of you are struggling with what's my business name, just have it be your first and last name for now. Most of you are not going to be, having big businesses with lots of employees, and, you're the face of your company and you're the people that people want to connect with. So I would do that. And, I don't know that until you really have a plan about using social media, I don't know if you need to rush on it. But here's the thing, that all of this time, like if you've got access to, if you want to go watch some videos on YouTube to learn how to do things, if you've got access to maybe home study courses you purchased, if you want to go back and take advantage of those programs you've been meaning to look at or those books you've been meaning to read, now is a really good time to be focused on learning. Because a lot of us have more time. I mean, we don't have to drive our kids are home, but we don't have to drive them to school anymore. And we don't have soccer practice right now. So it's right. So, yeah. So I, you could certainly start doing some learning and get that going. It certainly can't hurt you right now.
Oh, you unmuted me finally.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. I do have a website. I don't have much on it. I was thinking that I ought to maybe start writing little articles, little blogs, and I have some Course in Miracles, a lot of Course in Miracles, so I was looking at kind of the collective miasma of fear and guilt and all the rest of it. It's been very interesting, but it's just the insanity gets to you. Doesn't matter how well balanced you are, the insanity gets to you. Mm-hmm. It really does. So I was thinking about maybe putting up little articles like that.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your business name, Serene Mountain Coaching. It fits you well. And I want to say, as far as whether you have a business page or a personal page, you can just kind of, if you haven't been doing much in social media, you just take small steps into it. So, with this, you can just post on your personal page. Hey, I know a lot of people are going through a lot. How can I help?
That'd be good because I've never really done anything on it, so it's open. But I do have a lot of people who've connected with it.
Yes. Yeah.
So that, in fact, might just be the way to go.
Yeah. So you start small.
My goodness, I could become a social media butterfly now.
That's great.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that, because I have the whole family has been totally allergic to social media. So I have 2 adult sons who don't know anything about it. And Mom's the one who wants to get onto social media, really. So, okay, thank you so much. You can mute me now.
Absolutely. All right. And a big whoosh for Shelley. You ready? And
Whoosh.
all right. Any other questions before we wrap up?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we just want to kind of end with a couple of things. One, just looking over my notes to make sure we didn't forget anything. Do you want to say something, Sean?
No, I was waiting
Okay.
for, I mean, I've got the notes here in front of me too, what we promised we would cover.
Yeah. One thing that you should know is that we're going to be starting a Thrive Client Attraction Summit Facebook group really soon, and I encourage you to connect with each other and to use that as a resource for support in the next couple of months. I think that as we've been saying, you know, I think the call here is to step into your leadership and to really ask yourself, how do I want to emerge from this pandemic? Because it will end. We will get through this. And then the question is, who are you on the other side of it? And so a lot of people are holding their breath and sort of putting life on hold until it's over. And I think if you're smart, as Cheryl was saying, you know, you're growing, you're learning, you're showing up for people, you're showing up for yourself, you're practicing self-care, and you're doing what you need to do to use the word butterfly, Shelley, to emerge from this time, you know, as a butterfly and really, you know, flapping your wings and having planted a lot of seeds and done some great things during this sort of quiet, still, secluded time that we're finding ourselves in. So I'm going to encourage you to make that decision that you're going to emerge from this time better for having gone through this time. And the thing that I keep telling our community is that I think we're better when we do this together. You know, it's if you try and do this isolated, we're already, you know, sort of secluded, but if you really isolate yourself, that can be even more disastrous. So, you know, sticking together with people who understand where you're coming from, who get it, who want the best for you, and who are with you in this game. So, Cheryl, anything you want to add?
You bet. Yeah, I want to thank you so much for coming today and leaning in and leaning into community here. I know the summit's a ways off. It's quite a ways off. And the truth is that, you know, you might meet some of your new best friends, you know, even having started here. So thank you for coming and connecting. And this is, you know, we are just getting started. But, you know, people say that the Client Attraction Summit is a life-changing experience for them, where there was like, how you thought about your business before the summit and then how you thought about it after. And I'm really excited for what's going to shift for you, the breakthroughs that you're going to have. And I really believe that the breakthroughs start now. You know, as soon as you sign up for the Client Attraction Summit, all the breakthroughs start. We've got a lot of great content for you before you even get to the event. I hope all of you got the book. And, you know, now would be a good time to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely now would be a good time
nice.
to read. Yeah, now would be a good time to read the book.
That's great.
You know, we've got videos coming for you and
Yeah.
great content for you. Definitely get into the Facebook group because it'll be a way to connect with other people right away. And,
we have a ton of support for you. Some of it's free. Some of it is obviously paid because, you know, we have to be able to run this business. But if there's ways that we can support you beyond the book, whether, you know, we have some other free resources, we have some paid resources, feel free to reach out to, you know, our team. Leah's, some of you have already met Leah Diamond. She's our concierge. She's amazing. She can support you. And, you know, you can also email Meg Driscoll, who's on this call as well, supporting us. Meg, if you could post your email so that as well as phone numbers, so that, if you're looking for more support or connection, like I said, we have plenty of resources. So it's the main thing is we just want to keep showing up in service to you in any way that we can to support you to thrive, which is the name of our company, Thrive Academy, during these times. So Meg just posted her email and phone number. Even if you just want to be like, hey, I'm at home a lot. Is there any home study courses? Or, we have live Zoom calls that we do on a weekly basis, and things like that. If that feels like that would be supportive to you, feel free to reach out about that.
All right. I
Yeah.
think with that, we'll wrap up. Do you want to? Would love to actually hear from you in the chat here of how do you plan to emerge from this situation? How do you plan to emerge from the pandemic? Like, what's your vision for your life? What's your vision for your business? Go ahead and share in the chat as we close out today. And it can even be a declaration for yourself that, like, I'm going to be stronger as a result of this, or I'm going to be smarter, or Shelley, I'd love to get my business going and growing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Pan amazing, says Donna. That's the way to go about it. Jenny says, create my online workshops. Now is the time. Nanette says, to be a leader of the getting to the other side in a more open and vibrant way. Beautiful, Nanette. Love that. Thank you. Dr. Wijon says, the world will be a healthier and better place after the pandemic. Beautiful. I love these visions, and I love where you want to take things. So absolutely wonderful. Really, really good stuff, everyone. All right. Linda says, I'll be meditating and praying for all. Fantastic. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you to all of you for the service that you do in the world, to your clients, to the people around you in your lives, that you've dedicated your life to helping others. And it takes a special kind of person to be a coach or a holistic practitioner. So we're just really grateful to get to be with you, and honored to be able to support you and guide you along this journey.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on this call with us, and we look forward to seeing you live, one way or the other, in person or on Zoom, in just a couple short months. So we'll see you soon.
All right. Make it a great day, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.